All right, welcome back. So today we're going to dive into a concept that might just flip everything you think you know about what it means to be in charge. We're going to break down the really powerful and, I think, inspiring servant leader mindset.
No, really, just take a second. When you hear that word leader, what's the first image that flashes in your mind? Is it some general on a battlefield pointing the way? A CEO at the head of a long table? Someone giving the orders, making all the big calls?
Yeah, that traditional view, the leader who's out front, issuing commands focused on holding on to power, that's what most of us have in our heads. But what if I told you there's a totally different way to look at it, an alternative that flips this whole model on its head? It's a shift from commanding to questioning, from seeking power to empowering others.
And that alternative, well, it's called servant leadership. The name itself kind of gives away the whole game, right? It's a philosophy where the leader's #1 motivation is to serve their team, not to be served by them.
Okay, so this image right here, this is going to be our guide for today. It nails the whole idea perfectly. You've got a shepherd, right? They're guiding the flock, not pushing it from the front. And this whole model is built on 4 pillars, with names that honestly might throw you for a loop at first. Sacrifice, suffering, surrender, and stamina. Let's dig into what those really mean in this world.
To really wrap our heads around this, we've got to start with the personal investment. You could even call it the cost of entry. The first 2 pillars are all about what a servant leader has to be willing to give. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sacrifice, suffering. Those don't exactly sound like things you'd put on a leadership resume, do they? But hang with me here, because understanding these 2 words in this context, well, that's the key to the whole thing. First up, sacrifice. It's all about giving up something you value for something you see as more important. For a leader, this isn't some huge, dramatic gesture. It's about sacrificing your ego, Your need to always be the smartest person in the room, or even sacrificing your own credit for a project so the team can shine. Their win is your win. That's the mindset shift.
Next is suffering, and this one is so important to get right. It is not about being miserable. Not at all. In this model, suffering is just a powerful word for deep, active empathy. It's being willing to actually step into the trenches with your team, to understand their struggles firsthand. You don't solve problems from a distance. You feel the weight of them and you work through it together.
So, let's be super clear. This isn't about weakness. Far from it. This is about building a foundation of trust that's basically unbreakable. When your team knows without a doubt that you'll sacrifice for them and that you genuinely get what they're going through, man, that connection is where the real power comes from. Okay, so if that's the investment, what's the return? What do you get back from all this? Well, that leads us right into the incredible power that comes from this mindset, built on our next 2 pillars, surrender and stamina. Now, the word surrender, again, it sounds counterintuitive, right? It's not about giving up or waving a white flag. In servant leadership, it's about surrendering control. It's having the strength to let go of the need to micromanage every little thing, and instead truly empower your team. You trust them, give them the space to own their work, and just knock it out of the park. You give up that tight grip on control to unlock their massive potential. And that empowerment, it's all held together by stamina. This is the grit, the resilience to keep showing up for your team, especially when things get tough. It's about not giving up on them, about being that consistent, steady source of belief. Your stamina becomes their fuel, that unwavering confidence that, hey, no matter what happens, we're going to get through this together. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The servant leader understands that hoarding control actually makes the team smaller. True, lasting power is what you create when you give it away, empowering every single person on your team to be a leader in their own right.
So we've talked about these 4 big ideas, but how do you actually use this? How does this become something you can follow? Well, let's lay it out as a clear path.
It really flows, one step right into the next. You start with sacrifice, putting the team's needs first. That act builds the trust that lets you truly empathize, to suffer with them in their challenges. And once you have that deep connection, it becomes so much easier to surrender control and empower them. And then, what holds it all together for the long haul? Your stamina, your absolute commitment to seeing them succeed.
All right, so as we wrap this explainer up, let's just boil it down to the essentials. What should you really take away from this? First, leadership is about service, not about your title or status. Second, your real strength comes from empathy and sacrifice. Third, when you empower people, you don't just get results, you build incredibly resilient teams. And finally, this isn't some quick trick. It's a deep, long-term commitment. It's a way of being.
And that really brings us to the final question.
the one that's just for you. When you look at these 4 pillars, sacrifice, suffering, surrender, and stamina, let's be honest, it's not the easy path, but it might just be the most powerful and rewarding one. So I'll just leave you with this to chew on. What kind of leader will you choose to be?